Hello everyone, it's Animation. Welcome back to some more Omnifactory. We are here in the creative test world that is still unchanged from last time. Just a bunch of random experiments everywhere. I actually have been doing some testing over here with the bronze boiler instead of the steel boiler. But that's actually relative to why we're here. We're here to look at how to get automatic power, because power is a pain. Right now, to get power, I'm chopping down trees, burning it into charcoal, and then putting the charcoal in... Is there one here somewhere? There's not, because they're incredibly inefficient. Oh, is that one over here? No, that's not even it. I'm putting them in the steam dynamos, which are really bad. And I'll just show you how bad they are. So if you look at charcoal in these, it shows you get 16k RF per tick. Even if you put in these fuel catalyzers, you'll get 20k. The issue is the conversion from RF to EU is 1 to 4, or 4 to 1. So that's 5k EU, which is Greg Tech power. Just not a lot. That's really not a lot for a single charcoal. On the other hand, if we burn that charcoal in one of these high pressure steam boilers, it will burn for 8 consecutive minutes. And if you have just 4 of them, you can entirely power a basic steam turbine. It's actually really close. It's either like barely power or barely not power. But this thing outputs a lot of power. I have that number somewhere. 32 EU per tick for 8 minutes. Well, I guess 2 minutes if you divide it by 4. Yeah, much better. So even just a single boiler in one of those is so much better than throwing in one of these. But these are cheap. So last time, in the last world, we created a tree farm. Oh, there goes the music. Using these farming blocks. Got a mini setup here. Using one of these farming stations. We would create stone axes and stone hoes out of sticks and cobblestone. Feed them in because they break. And then pull out the wood. Burn the wood to charcoal, throw the charcoal into originally the tiny boilers. Then we made one of these big boilers, which was slightly more efficient, I think. Yeah, one coal is 16,000, which is 4 times better. Slightly more efficient in here. We did that. Let's do it a different way. The Gabe actually recommends. It doesn't actually recommend it. It points to. Okay, cool. Show me the quest lines. Can you just like unlock all the things? I guess not. It points to using lots of sugarcane to create ethanol and burning that in a diesel generator. So I have a little test setup here. We have a empty passive setup. The thing about this is it takes a little bit of power to get going. We have a nice empty setup here. So we have a basic brewery, which will brew the sugarcane down into biomass. 1 sugarcane becomes 100 biomass. We have a distillery here. So the sugarcane becomes biomass, which becomes ethanol. I guess we need 10 of them. So yeah, I should put in. I'll have to divide by 10 at the end to find the value of 1. Becomes ethanol, which then gets burned in the diesel generator. These 2 things consume power. This produces power. So we do need to provide a little bit of power to start with. And I have a 8,000 EU battery. Each of these holds 1,024. And we're going to pop in this battery and just kind of see what happens. It's going to start consuming power. This starts brewing the sugarcane. I will have to look at rates and make sure like everything's... We might need multiple breweries or something. But it'll make this. It's consuming a bit of power. I've already consumed almost 5,000. Wow. Some has gone into these, so it's not... Well, I mean, it is... It does consume 2,400. Or, I guess. Yeah, 2,400. Anything better? 100. Oh, 180 from plant balls. I'll have to look at this, see if there's a slightly more efficient one. You pull. There it is. It's going to take a little while, but once it's done, it will brew it into ethanol, throw it in here, generate power, and we'll see how much we get, and then we can see how much energy we get from a single sugarcane. Wow, that burns so slow. Is it not? Is the power's not going out? Well, I guess, I need to actually send this into like here, don't I? There we go. So now we're getting power. That burns real slow. Which I guess is good. So you need a lot of these. Not many of these. Probably quite a few of these. I'll calculate rates better. But we're going to see where this ends up. We started at 8,000 EU. You have to take into account there's now 1,022 in here and 1,016 in here. And we'll get the final output from 10 sugar canes with this setup. And there it is. The diesel generator has finished. 157,312. So 157,312 plus 1016 plus 1022 leaves us with 159,350. Subtract out the 80,000 from before, gives us. Jeez, I cleared it. 79,350. I'm assuming that's supposed to be like 80,000. Or 10 sugarcane. So one sugarcane would be 7,9,350. 9,935. To be honest, for sugarcane, that's real good. Like, you know how easy this stuff's so easy to get. Next question is time. So let me do some calculations for how long this stuff takes and see if I can come up with an efficient setup for. Let me show you my plan here. We got a snad. If you don't know what a snad is, this is a snad. It's just sand. Totally nothing special about it. Just gonna place the sugarcane on the snad. Drop down a timer. And then the sugarcane's gonna grow. So what we can do, we can place a block breaker down. You know what else works? Pistons. A little too fast. Boom. So that is a sugarcane every 50 ticks, which is really fast. All right, let me do some math to figure out how much we need to be able to process that and how much power we can generate from this singular sugarcane setup. So here are the results. This single sugarcane would need 16 basic breweries to process at that rate, going into a single distillery, creating enough output to power almost entirely 10 diesel generators, in the end producing about 300 EU per tick. Yeah, that's a lot of power. Doesn't seem like a lot of power, but it's entirely passive power. And this is per tick. If we want per second, it's about 6,000 per second. The current things we're trying to craft right now, if you look at like some recipes, they use like 16. So we can have a lot of machines running at once. uses 30. So that's 70. So subtract that out. We're still netting 220 easily. It's just a matter of making all these machines. And then you're good. And then you got it. I kind of really want to do this because it seems like incredible overkill, especially for early on. But then we have it. Then I don't have to worry about low voltage power anymore. We can always use transformers. It's gonna be fun. All right, let's try this setup. Need lots of big cables because I'm running 16 amps through them. Hit all 16 of these. And not this one. So we need big cables. At the end, when I finally build this, hopefully, I'm not going to use these big cables because I'm going to have it more better laid out. So all I got to do is do this. I'll start getting the sugar cane. It should, now that I turn it on, I'm extracting through here, which I probably should set to one at a time. I can't set it to one at a time. It's going to do 4 at a time. That's got no power. That's got no power. Why don't you have power? I guess because only one of the batteries has energy, it's only giving it 1 amp. Pulled it out. There's biomass in the pipes. It's not going in there. What did I just do? I put it there, cool. Okay, just needs to go on the top. I can't set this to round robin. Just gonna put it wherever it feels like. Cool, it did kind of distribute it. And these are already out of power. Nice. It's gonna do this one first. This should fill up pretty fast. And this is gonna start going up. I mean, that's charging pretty fast. It is still actively using this. Not anymore, but it was. Yeah, so getting this thing started might be a bit tough. I also have to pay attention to what happens when it fills up. I don't think anything. Like when this is full of power, I guess it'll stop making stuff. So I should have a backup tank to hold up ethanol, I suppose. That's probably how I should start, with just a ton of ethanol already made to dump into here so these start producing. But there we go. That is a lot more than 300. I thought I calculated something wrong. It says 32 EU per tick. I have 10 of them, so that should be 320 EU per tick. I guess that's about 300. So these should be powered again. They should be going. And once it stabilizes, we should have pretty consistent rates once the power is able to get to all these. Just having a power delivery issue, which again, hopefully I can figure out by not using these massive cables. Ooh, it's going up and down, but it's there. Yeah, it's going up. These aren't even all running anymore. Can't tell. Did it produce more? I'm gonna set a fuel here. We got another dump. Yeah, they're biomassing. Okay, I'm gonna let this run. See what kind of equilibrium we get. It's going. Yeah, so it looks like the amount of batteries that have energy determines its output. So now that more batteries have power, more of these can run. And it's starting to pick up from there. And this is the furthest one away. This one has power, so it seems like we're good now. We could get full production. I don't think any of these have turned off in a little bit. This is definitely more than 300 EU per tick. Oh, did that say RF per tick? Is that where I'm going wrong here? Are we actually getting 4 times this? No, it's EU. The 2 EU per tick. Times 10. I don't know. Maybe it's like a backup or something. It's going well. I already filled up another battery buffer just to see how it would do. Something I found, though. I have this set at 1.6k biomass in 40 seconds. That's actually wrong. It's producing 1.6k biomass in 20 seconds because overclocking is turned on. And I timed it out. It's about 20 seconds that they can do a full process, depending on the speed. Like, sometimes it'll be faster than others. I think with all the batteries full, it'll go at double speed. So this is running non-stop when I expected it to be running about half the time. And these are slowly filling up, so we could probably even add more generators. I'd be hesitant to do another 10, but I absolutely could do another 10. I'd rather actually have a surplus of ethanol as a backup. And right now, this is about to fill up. Once it does, I expect these will actually turn off and only turn on to supply the power we need to keep this running. Once that happens, I'm interested to see what that's going to do to the ethanol supply. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to force fill these so they're all completely full and see what happens when things start backing up and if that's an issue or not, because it might not be. Okay, none of them stopped, but they are going very slowly now. Some of them pause for a little bit, but they don't fully turn off, it looks like. Absolutely producing more than I'm consuming right now. Because right now I'm consuming up to 30 millibuckets per second. That's how much I can consume. So each of these is 3 per second. That's a second. This one's not even doing any. So it will start backing up over time. Let's just force it. They are now all full. So in theory, this is going to start backing up first. Still took it all. Okay, sure. Flood the pipes. I don't think I can't dump that into output. Just got to wait this one. So it looks like the result of overflowing is just, it just stops. So I shouldn't really have to worry about that. Again, I'd like to keep a backup of ethanol. And to actually get this to back up, I needed to stop pulling from it. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. Okay. I think this is going to be the plan. Looks kind of weird. This one's like nice and compact, but it's actually not the best. And it only really is working because everything's right next to each other, and we have to make a lot of these cables. Each of these 16x conductive iron cables is almost a block of iron and a block of redstone and 16 rubber, all combined into a single block, and we have a lot of them. This setup uses 8. And it's a little bit more organized. And then we can break these into like different buildings or floors of a building. And there's more buffers in between with some of these multi-fluid tank blocks. Oh, I didn't finish here. Oopsies. Distribute the fluid here. And the idea is, in order to start this, we're going to manually make some ethanol and throw it into this tank. Also, I need to actually like get, I should actually try this, shouldn't I? Make sure it works before I go say, hey, let's do the thing over here. Yeah, start with some ethanol to kick things off. This system also has a massive battery buffer right here of 5.12 million EU with 4 16x low voltage battery buffers. Yes, it's a stack of batteries. That's fine. And it all uses these conductive iron conduits to go between places because I want to do that so I don't, you know, murder my brain. It also means individual sections are upgradable without upgrading the entire wiring. So I can just swap these out for medium voltage stuff here and not worry about anything else. It should be good. All right, let's see if this works. Not like that. Let the pull push me. How do I insert? Did that work? Ah, that worked. Singular bucket. Let's see what that does. Pumped up there. Did energy get to here? In theory, the energy should have gotten to there, but it has not yet. Okay, we got RF here. Little bits of energy going through here. Nothing here. Power's coming through here. Ah, these ones are on. Look at that. It's working. Just gotta tell these to pull because I guess I picked the wrong side. When I did it over here, it like... No, it didn't. Okay, I did have to pull. This is the worst part of all these setups, going through and manually setting all these cables to do whatever you want it to do. Is the fluid. Pull that. Insert. Extract always active. Says the tank's empty. I disagree. I disagree with the tank being empty. Can it only have one valve? Is that the issue? Yeah, it looks like it only has one valve. Okay, so I'll have to figure out my tank better. There we go. Now it's pulling. There's not enough power. These turn off? They did. Okay. So it looks like 1 bucket of ethanol is not enough. 2 buckets of ethanol. It could also be a timing thing. Once this produces its first bucket, we're good. It should cycle around. Once I, you know, fix the thing for the fact that there's one valve. At that point, the valve can be anywhere, can't it? Yeah, I can make the tanks look better. I thought they were the old ones, but no, you need a valve on it. Tell this to pull. There we go. We got that. Goes into there. They all light up. Everyone's happy, and the system should now be self-sustaining, in theory. The little hiccup. I've been here processing stuff for like 2 hours now. I'm ready to go to sleep. But I've been using this crafting calculator, which is actually really handy. 16 basic breweries, and it now says we have all the inputs. The last step is to just craft it. I'll go over how this works later. I'm still learning. So in theory, I have all the things. And it took a very long time and lots of resources, but there we go. 16 basic breweries. And in the time I was working on this, I cleared out a building over here to become our wonderful power plant. At least our ethanol-based power plant. We got 3 floors and a basement. This one still has some stuff here, but for the most part, all the floors are nice and empty. Nice big open glass walls. Some spiderwebs left, you know. Clean those up. This will allow us to see what's going on inside. The only thing we really have to see is like fluid levels, I guess. Which, if it's balanced right, there should never really be any. But you know, whatever. It's gonna look cool. This is step 1, and I still got a lot more to do. And I've used a lot of stuff.